Franklin TV Sports presents Franklin High School Boys Lacrosse. Today on a sun-drenched early spring afternoon, the Franklin High Panthers, with a record of 4-0, play host to Wakefield High School, who comes to town with a record of 3-1. Hi neighbors, and welcome to Franklin Boys Lacrosse. I'm Pete Royce, working alongside our producer, our director, our technologist, Meredith Robertson. Franklin, game number 5 on the season. They're 4-0. Victories over Attleboro, Stoughton, Canton, and a tough one at Sharon back on April 10th, a 5-3 win over the Sharon Eagles. For Wakefield, they're having a good season under new coach Andrew Wells. They're 3-1. They won home to Arlington 7-3, won at Woburn 19-5, lost at versus Belmont at home 9-8, and won at home over Beverly 14-8. So this is a matchup. Talking to both coaches, Lou Veracchi, he has been around a long time. This is his 26th year. He has 336 varsity victories for the Franklin High Panthers. He started the program here at Franklin, and so he's got over 300 victories, 4-0 this year. And it's amazing what Coach Veracchi has done. He has graduated 15 seniors from last year's team, and this year he returns 12 juniors from last year. They're now seniors, and he just keeps moving through the system. What he credits this outstanding Franklin program to is the commitment of the players to play in the off season. Most of them play club lacrosse, and he also is very high on the fact that they are dedicated to the sport of lacrosse. For Andrew Wells, I talked to him before the game. He's the coach of Wakefield, and what he said is this is perhaps their toughest game of the year. Franklin had it easy over Wakefield at Wakefield last year, but this year, Wakefield 3-1 on the season. So we'll see what happens. For Wakefield, they will start a freshman in goal, Jaden Fullerton. So a big test for him, and for Franklin, they will start Matt Corvey. Corvey will get the nod in goal. He's a senior for Franklin. The ball is underway, and it's controlled by the Panthers. The officials are John Kelly and Mike Donnelly. Franklin in the white, going from right to left across your screen, and Wakefield in the red, going from left to right. Franklin takes it behind the goal, and they'll run their patented structured plays in the offensive zone. We'll identify the starters when we have a chance. Franklin taking it deep. 4 12-minute periods here. There will be overtime should the game end in tie in regulation. There's the shot whistled wide by a nice effort there by Ryan Grasso. And Franklin first to the ball behind the net, and they'll control the offense. It's amazing that Franklin is so strong after graduating 15 seniors. Shot there is wide. Once again, Franklin controlling it. That shot was taken by the Panthers' Drew Hansen. Once again, Franklin dominating the offensive play so far in the early going. And they draw a triple team. Hansen gets it in front, moving, and it's a great save by Fullerton. The loose ball is on the turf, and Wakefield tries to get, but Franklin tries to steal it. It's a logjam, and the Franklin Panthers come out with it. Nice play by Ryan Grasso. And now Wakefield has it for the first time. And here they come, and drawing a double team and some heavy contact. This Wakefield player was get battered by 5-6 Franklin Panthers coming up. But he gets it up, and now the pass is wide, and that's going to go out of bounds. That pass by Seamus Cable out of bounds, and Franklin will have it deep in their own end. Referees holding play. It looks like maybe they're going to give it to Seamus Cable. So I'm sorry, it'll be Wakefield with the ball. No score, 10-10 left, first period. It's going to be a penalty here. A penalty called on Perro. So Wakefield goes a player up. Perro will be in the penalty area for 1 minute. Chance for Wakefield to get first score. But a steal there. Franklin very strong, very physical in play so far here today. Rushing upfield with it is Jack O'Connor, the junior. O'Connor takes it down. Franklin playing a player shy for another 33 seconds. Perro with a penalty, 1 minute minor. Franklin trying to kill off some of this penalty time. Hansen out deep. It's dropped near the midfield stripe, and taking it in is Ryan Grasso. Grasso still holding. 12 seconds on the penalty to Perro, and Grasso is going to eat that clock. Ryan Grasso, a senior midfielder. Back to Drew Hansen. Hansen holding, and now the penalty is up. So Franklin kills off the penalty, and Perro is back on the field. Franklin again dominating play. They've owned the possession 99% of the time. This is Hansen, makes his way through, he shoots, and it's a rebound, loose ball, and the shot and the score. Franklin scores it, and I believe getting the goal for Franklin is Dylan McAvoy. That's unofficial. Dylan McAvoy scores for Franklin. They've dominated play, and McAvoy lights it up at 8:45 of the first period. Franklin 1, Wakefield no score. This is Ben Patterson, who is the face-off player for Franklin, and he'll get off after he draws the ball on the face-off. Still struggling for it, and he's going to win it. And he's going to lob it down, and now he'll wait for a chance to get off. Ben Patterson wins the draw. He's upfield with it, and he connects into the offensive zone. Come the Panthers. Out there for Franklin is Tom Quinn, the sophomore. Wakefield very young. I think they have one senior, a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, and a new coach in Andrew Wells. Franklin going to work, a pass in front, reversing his field. The shot is wide on a nice spin-around move by Zach Langevin. Franklin still, though, retains possession. They've dominated the possession of this ball in the first period. Down behind the net goes Dylan McAvoy. He's got the goal for the Panthers. 7:30 to go, first period, 1-0 Franklin. Drew Hansen attacking, drops it down low, baseline. Spinning is McAvoy, and he'll come back out with it. Back to Hansen. To the top it goes to Tom Quinn. Franklin holding it out deep. Nowhere to go with it, and they lob it on the right side. Now it's Hansen. He comes through. The save by Fullerton. Rebound Franklin. Out top it comes. Too high. Intended there for Eddie O'Brien, but Franklin is back to receive it. Very windy, by the way, here in Franklin. And the Panthers have it again in the offensive zone. Low scoring start for both teams. Franklin charging through, nowhere to go with it. Back out, drawing a double team, and the ball is on the turf. Franklin trying to win it back, and coming out with it are the Panthers. This is Tom Quinn. Franklin getting all the loose balls. Behind the net it goes. Out for Drew Hansen. Drew faking, spinning, passing it in front, the spin around shot, and the goal. A beautiful pass by Drew Hansen to C.J. Perro, and Perro makes it 2-0 on a beautiful pass by Hansen. C.J. Perro, remember, he had a penalty earlier in the game. He came out of the box, and he gets the second goal of the game for Franklin. Franklin 2, Wakefield no score. Score comes at 6:10 to go here in the first period. So glad you're with us, fans, here on Franklin TV, and we're streaming on YouTube. Coach Lou Verrocchi said that with Wakefield having a new coach, it's possible that the team will have new inspiration, and he's preparing for that, or he has prepared for that for this game. But so far, Franklin more than holding its own. This is Jack O'Connor. He sends one wide, and Franklin will not be able to keep that in bounds, and the Panthers will turn it over for a rare occasion. Wakefield has not had the ball. Oh, maybe once they had the ball past midfield, and that's been it. Franklin dominating with the possession. Wakefield, Franklin with the forechecking. A lot of contact. Wakefield gets a long pass out. That's loose, and that midfield is going to be picked up by Wakefield. Wakefield has it there for a moment, and it looked like that was Ryan Metis, and now it's going to be Cable, and he's going to shoot, and he whistles one. Seamus Cable whistles one wide. Franklin, the first to the ball, will have it with 5:24 to go in the period. Seamus Cable, he unloaded. That was the best look for Wakefield. And Franklin's Ben Patterson has it back. And Patterson will go off after the play that he controlled for a while. Down for Perro. Now behind the net it comes. McAvoy. And Franklin with several players on the touch. They work it all the way around, a full 360, and back to Perro. We'll start it again. McAvoy underneath, looking for the cutters, can't find any. He'll drop it out deep. To the top of the arc there, where it was controlled by Eddie O'Brien. Franklin making move. O'Brien shoots. It's saved by Fullerton. Ball is controlled, though, by McAvoy. He's in front. And he shoots a backhanded behind-the-back pass. It's either a pass or a shot behind the head, and it went astray. Franklin, though, gets to it. And the Panthers will have it in the offensive zone. Drew Hansen. Now out with it is Ryan Grasso. Sun just baking the fans here. Several on the near sideline. Just a few on the Wakefield side of the field. This is Hansen. He drops the ball. He recovers it and gets it behind to McAvoy. Around the screen, he shoots, and he scores. Dylan McAvoy with his third goal, the third Franklin goal, his second, and it makes it 3-0. That score comes at 3:55. Franklin 3, Wakefield no score. Coach thought that Franklin defeated Wakefield something like 22-6 last year, but he feels Wakefield is a strong sports town, so he wasn't totally sure what to expect from Wake here today. Patterson on the draw. He can't win this one, and is controlled by Wakefield. And they take it. Franklin so physical in the play. Player just taking hit after hit. Ball is loose, and it's going to be a violation. Is going to have a penalty here. The referee throws the flag. John Kelly with the flag. And we'll see what the infraction is. Franklin is going to draw the penalty. Ben Patterson will go off for 1 minute. And the second penalty, Franklin killed off the first, so Patterson is in the penalty area. And Wakefield goes a player up with 3:30 to go here in the first period. With it out there is Matt Keefe, and it's lost, picked up in there by Matt Corvey, the Franklin goalkeeper, the senior goalkeeper. Gets it out on the left side to Tyler Crandall. Crandall loses it. A tough place to lose. Franklin goes defending, and what a stop by Corvey. 1-on-1, and he beat his man. He beat his man and picked it off in midair. And Franklin flips the field. What a save by Matt Corvey. The Wakefield player was in alone. It might have been J.P. Casey, I'm not sure. And now a whistle stops play here for a moment. And the official is going to bring the ball back to Wakefield. Time running, 8 seconds to go, 7 on the penalty to Patterson. And that should expire here in 2 seconds. And Patterson is back on the field. So Franklin twice has killed off a player down, and they get the ball back. So the power play not effective yet for Wakefield. Patterson with the ball, and he's going to drop it and go off. Wells substituting a couple of players. Faraki with another sub coming in. Franklin in the offensive zone. Ball is loose. Controlled by Wake. Still on the ground. It flips high in the air, and Wakefield gets to it. And they'll start off. The ride out on the right side. And this is going to be taken by J.P. Casey. Casey, and a whistle stops play, and a timeout called by Andrew Wells. Wells, the first-year Wakefield coach, and he calls the timeout. So to recap the scoring, Franklin with 3 goals here in the first period. The first goal came by Dylan McAvoy at 8:45, made it 1-0 Panthers. Then C.J. Perro, who had been in the penalty area with a minor, he comes back and he scores with 6:10, and that made it 2-0 Panthers. Then Dylan McAvoy with his second goal of the game, and second in the first period, and he scored with 3:55 to go here in the first period. And so Franklin has that 3-0 lead to open up play here in their 5th game of the season. Franklin and Wakefield. This is a non-conference game, but it counts in the standings, and Franklin should pick up some points if they win, because Wakefield has 3 victories already. So we'll see how it plays out. But right now there's a stoppage on the field as Franklin has played strong defense, not allowing much to get on in their end of Wakefield. They've pretty much been bottled up, and Franklin playing a very physical style of play here in this game. So we'll see how it turns out, but right now it's been Franklin dominating, as Wakefield will come back on with the ball. Down 3-0 after their timeout. 1:38 to go, first period. With it out there in the top is Conrad Ruskowski, and he'll drop it over to Brady Zdanowicz. And now a turnover, a foul called on Wake. And so the Panthers will have it. See what they can do with 1:17 to go in the period. Very sunny skies, cool temperature, about 64. Franklin charging in. This is Drew Hansen. And Franklin trying to get their best shot possible. Tom Quinn. They take it behind the net where Jaden Fullerton is in there for Wake. This is Quinn Keelty. Now to Hansen. Behind the net again, McAvoy with 2 goals. Perro was back there. Also back there is Zach Langevin in front. The shot and the score. McAvoy gets the hat trick in the first period. Dylan McAvoy, 3 goals in the first period. And Franklin scores again, this one with 37.9 seconds to go. Franklin 4, Wakefield no score. Well, Coach Wells said this may be one of the most difficult or the most difficult games of the year for their team. And sure enough, it's started out right that way. Franklin gives up the ball on the draw. Patterson, though, comes back for it. Just 26 seconds to go in the period. And Wakefield, every time they have the ball, they're pounded hard. And another flag. This should be on Patterson. Patterson again. He's going to go off for the second time. Franklin playing very physical. And Patterson will go off. John Kelly, the official, one of the 2 officials here today, working with Mike Donnelly. And let's see, who are they going to give that penalty to? They actually are not going to give it to Patterson. They're going to give it to Anthony Lampasona. Lampasona will go out with 17 seconds to go. He's out for a minute. A minor penalty to Lampasona, the Panthers' 3rd of the game. Can Wakefield cash in? They're a player up here to wind down the first period with only 7 seconds to go. 5, they better hustle. They're not getting a shot off. And they're just going to be content to run the clock out. A bit unusual there. So the first period will come to an end as it is Franklin 4 and Wakefield no score. 3 goals by Dylan McAvoy and 1 by C.J. Perro. And that is it for the Franklin Panthers over the Wakefield Warriors. 4-0. Franklin. Looking at the Franklin schedule, they'll next be in action. Actually, they're going to have a break of 6 days off. And so they'll be playing on the 22nd next. And that's next week. And that'll be at Lexington. That's a 6:30 game next week on the 22nd. So that should be next Monday night in Lexington. This being school vacation week, this is the only game here this week for the Panthers in their home to Wakefield. For Wakefield, they'll be next playing on Thursday of this week at Bedford, and that's an 11 o'clock school vacation week start for the Wakefield Warriors. So 4-0, first period is in the books, 12 minutes. Franklin, when we resume play, will still have Lampasona in the penalty area for another 28 seconds, but Franklin has warded off their 2 penalties so far, and we'll see if they can continue that streak here in the second period. So glad you're with us, fans, here on Franklin TV, and we're streaming on YouTube. You know, the last game that Franklin played was a tough one at Sharon. Franklin won it 5-3, but Franklin was down in that game 3-0. And Coach Varaki told me before the game today, they had great looks, did the Panthers, in that game. They kept getting in position to score, but all their shots were wild. He said it was hard to believe because they practiced shooting every day for about 30 minutes. But they battled back and they made it 3-2. Then they finally tied it. Then they went ahead 4-3. Then they gave up an infraction. They were with the ball, time winding down. They were outside the box. The ball turned over to Wakefield. To Sharon. Sharon drove the length of the field, had a shot off. It was cleared over to Lampasona, and he brought it the other way and scored to seal the victory, 5-3. What a victory for Franklin. Their earlier games were blowouts, 15-0 and 20-0. So after the first 2 games, Franklin had 35 goals and their opponent none. But then in Game 3, Canton did manage 5 against Franklin's 12. And then, as we said, the real close game, Franklin 5 and Sharon 3. That was on April 10th. So here we go, another 12 minutes put up on the board, 42 seconds left, and it'll be the ball awarded to the Warriors. They have it in the offensive zone, a player up here. They've not had a lot of control of this ball. This is Matt Keefe. Keefe puts it on the turf, Franklin digging for it. Keith tries to come back, but Franklin takes it back. Nice play there by the Franklin Panthers, Alex Weber. Weber secured it. 10 seconds to go on the Lampisona penalty. The ball down low, but the save by Fullerton. And the Panthers will start up. 1 second to go, and Lampisona is out of the penalty area. Franklin on the defensive end, a great save by Corvey. A terrific save by Matt Corvey. And Franklin still with the 4-goal-to-none lead. First minute into the second period. This is Drew Hansen for the Panthers. He takes a hit and he loses the ball. And now he strikes back and wins the ball back. He's going to get a long pass upfield, and that's knocked down by a Panther. This is McAvoy. He's got the hat trick. Down low, passing in front. The shot hits the post. Did it go through? I don't know if they're going to credit that a goal or not. They are. They're going to give the goal. I thought it hit the post, but they're going to say no. A goal for C.J. Perro. C.J. Perro makes it 5-0. That goal comes at 10:40 in the first period. Franklin 5, the Warriors 0. Perro, I thought it hit the post, but it must have caught the inside of the net and then ricocheted out. So Perro with 2 goals and McAvoy with 3. Those are your 5 Franklin goals. Ben Patterson with the draw for the Panthers, and he wins it. Patterson advancing it. Faking, going through, and he's going to get a shot off, and he scores. Ben Patterson by himself. He won the face-off, and he scored. Franklin's Ben Patterson makes it 6-0. That score came 12 seconds after the Perro goal. Franklin now with 2 goals here in this period. Perro with his second of the game, and Ben Patterson won the faceoff, took it the length of, half the length of the field, and in front, Fullerton could not stop it. 6-0 Panthers. Patterson again with the draw, now a violation. They're going to say the violation against the Warriors, and Franklin will have it again. Rushing off this time is going to be Andrew Frollo, but it's back to Patterson in the offensive zone. Ben is going to hand it over to Drew Hansen. Hansen on the right side. It goes over there to Zach Langevin. Langevin. Panthers take it all the way back in front of the Franklin bench. 2 minutes gone here in the second period. Ball controlled by Ryan Grasso, the senior. Later on, we'll give you some idea where some of these seniors will be going next year. Several college commits for Franklin. If we have a moment, we'll fill you in on some of that. This is Grasso. McAvoy with 3 goals. Holding on the right side. Franklin, kind of a pause here in the action. Now they get it behind the net. It's whipped around from Langevin. Franklin will still look for that proper opportunity. With it is Eddie O'Brien. O'Brien, the senior. Dancing around, drawing a double team. Who'll backpedal it out. O'Brien, 360 move. Unleashes, it's wide, it goes all the way down. Franklin right there on it. Nice play by Langevin to anticipate where that was going, and the Panthers will have it in the offensive zone. Almost 3 minutes gone here in the second period. 6-0, Franklin on top. Pete Royce with you here high above the field at Piscini Stadium on the Franklin High campus. Grasso worked around for Langevin. He's going to hold, reverses his field, gets it out deep. This is Quinn Keelty. Keelty in front. O'Brien has it on the turf, and he loses it. Kicked forward by a Warrior, and that was Joe Scourin. Scourin, he loses it. Now a penalty coming as Tyler Crandall had it. It's a delayed call against Wakefield. Their first penalty. Franklin will control it until the whistle, until Wakefield touches it or a score. Hansen can't score. Franklin quick to the ball is Langevin, and the delayed call is still in vogue here. Franklin will be having a player advantage unless they score here. 8:06 to go. Franklin working it around. This is Crandall for Langevin. Rather, Crandall holding. Crandall in front. McAvoy now. And he'll get it in front, right in front, the shot and the score. Beautiful pass, and Ryan Grasso scores it. Ryan Grasso. So we'll see if that nullifies the potential penalty against Wakefield. 7:48. Because it was a delayed call, they will get the penalty, and it's going to be on Joe Scourin. So it didn't matter that Franklin scored on the delayed call. Scourin is in the penalty area. For the first time, Franklin will be playing a player up. They lead it 7-0, so they did not put that score up on the scoreboard yet. I'm sorry, they did. It's 7-0. Absolutely. It was 6 before that. So Ryan Grasso gets the 7th goal of the game for the Panthers. And Langevin has it. Franklin with the player advantage for 45 more seconds unless they score. O'Brien, he does not let it go. He passes in front. Franklin with a wide pass, but that's going to be picked off by McAvoy. He retrieves it to the back line. Franklin will put it in play again. 28 seconds to go on the penalty to Scourin. And the ball is picked off in there. Nice defensive play by J.P. Casey. And now it goes to Fullerton, and he launches on the right wing. 14 seconds to go on the penalty to Scourin. A long pass upfield. That'll kill the penalty, but it will give the Panthers the ball. Just kind of a pressure-relieving pass by the back for the Warriors, and the penalty is now up, and we're at even strength again. Langevin in the game now is Quinn Keelty, Eddie O'Brien. This is Eddie. Back over for Langevin. He whistles one. Wow, what a whistling shot by Langevin off base. And it goes to the back line where the Panthers will control. With 6:30 to go here in the second period. Eddie O'Brien to Langevin in front. The turnaround move by Hansen is wide. And McAvoy is first to the ball for Franklin. 7-0. Franklin with 4 goals in the first period, 3 here in the second, still halfway through, only in the second period. Franklin's Quinn Keelty holding it, gets behind a screen, and he'll drop it back for O'Brien, and he'll unleash a bullet. And a goal there for Eddie O'Brien. Franklin gets another player into the scoring column. And that goal comes at 6:05, and it's 8-0. So 4 goals by the Panthers in the first period, 4 more here in the second period. 6:05 to go. Goals by McAvoy, 3, Perro, 2, Patterson, 1, Grasso, 1, and now Eddie O'Brien, 1. Draw coming at midfield. Patterson does not win this one. Is taken back by the Warriors. That's Nick Metzis. Metzis, he loses it, and Franklin gets it back to Corvey. He's hounded back in his own baseline. He gets a short pass on the left wing. And the ball is knocked loose. Franklin back to get the loose ball, and they cover it nicely. And with it there for the Panthers, with the whistle sounding, is Andrew Frollo. And it looks like a timeout has been called. So we have the second timeout of the game. Comes with 5:35 to go in the first period. And Franklin here on a beautiful spring day has played beautifully. And the Panthers coming into the game 4-0 on the season. And right now they lead it 8-0. Wins earlier over Attleboro, Stoughton, Canton, and Sharon. And here we go, non-conference play. Franklin will be non-conference for this game and the next one. And then they come back and have a bunch of conference games before in early May, they'll play at St. John's in Shrewsbury and at Medfield, 2 non-conference games. They'll finish the season up on the road with 2 non-conference games against 2 tough opponents, Lincoln Sudbury and Longmeadow. So that's looking ahead to mid to late May, as it's quite of a short season here. We have April and May and all kinds of weather in early May. It also sometimes affects play. But not today. Beautiful day here in Franklin, Mass. So glad you're with us, fans. Franklin and Wakefield in boys lacrosse. Franklin with 12 seniors. They graduate 15. They bring up 12 juniors from last year's team. And here we are with an 8-0 lead. Franklin on the verge of its 5th straight win of the season. 5:33 to go here in the second period. Play back in, clock starts. Franklin with the ball. We'll keep an eye for subs coming in the game for Coach Verrocki. With it there was Tom Quinn. The Panthers take it behind. Langevin. Left-handed pass to the top, and Franklin will backpedal it out for Tom Quinn. 5:04 to go, second period. Good crowd on hand here, especially on the near sideline. Ball is loose. In the game now for Franklin is Nate Walsh, the freshman. And Franklin gets it. Another delayed call coming up against Wakefield. Franklin will be on the power play. Franklin holding. This is Quinn to the top for Hansen. Drew will backpedal it out. Delayed call coming. A penalty coming up on Wakefield. Franklin trying to get one before the penalty is enacted. Everybody with a touch. This is Drew Hansen. Whipped around. Seems like every Franklin player has touched it in front. A great look for Hansen. He misfired. A terrific look. He's a little bit upset with himself that he misfired. And going off for the Warriors is going to be Zach Courtwright. Courtwright is in the penalty area. That's their second penalty. Franklin has had 2. Courtwright will go off for 1 minute. Franklin with the player advantage for that length of time. They lead it 8-0, 4:10 to go. Franklin with the ball. O'Brien, Eddie at the top. Langevin in front, charging through. McAvoy scores his 4th goal of the game. McAvoy gets 4. And Franklin has opened up a 9-0 lead. That score comes with 4:01. And that will do it for the penalty. So penalty is up with the Franklin score. And it's 9-0. Franklin with a 5 spot here in the second period. Still 4 minutes and 1 second left. Ben Patterson to take the draw with Brady Zdanowicz. Again, the officials for today's game, John Kelly and Mike Donnelly. Play underway, and Patterson wins the draw. He gets it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Corvey. Corvey doing the job for Franklin. Matt Corvey, the senior. He'll be playing at UMass Boston next year. Into the game now for Franklin is Damian Tarantino. Ball is loose, out of bounds. Franklin will have it with 3:36 to go here in the first half. O'Connor takes it forward. He'll drop it back for Ben Patterson. Ben, deep in the corner it goes. Now behind the net. Franklin holding it out. Eddie O'Brien. Across the field. It comes to Ryan Grasso. Grasso with a goal here today. Holding the ball. Waits for a sub to come in. Sub with the ball now. O'Brien. Franklin looking for the passing. O'Brien holding it. Left wing side it comes. Down low, baseline. Franklin will pull it back out. To the right side for Eddie O'Brien. down low it comes to Jack O'Connor. In front, the shot is wide. It's going to be chased down by Perro. He gets to it, and Franklin will win it, and they'll have the ball out of bounds with 2:42 to go in the first half. Now the clock restarts. Franklin with a 9-0 lead. Quinn Keelty. Back to Keelty. Cutter's going through. Keelty. Back it comes. Now the skip pass. Down low. O'Connor gets it back to Eddie O'Brien. Back over there for Tom Quinn. And still with it is Ryan Grasso. Franklin with multiple touches. We've not seen anything like this from Wakefield. It's sheer domination by the Panthers here, controlling the tempo, controlling the offensive play. That ball squirts loose from Keelty, but he'll come back to get it. 1:41 to go in the first half. Franklin 9, Wakefield, the Warriors, no score. O'Connor for a cut there. On the floor with it is Grasso. Ball is sprung loose, and Eddie O'Brien has it for the Panthers with 1:24 to go in the period. Franklin in no hurry working it down. This is where they're practicing their structured play. Take it behind. A short look there, and the score is made on a beautiful score. And with it was C.J. Perro, I believe. These are unofficial tallies. It's the best we can see. C.J. Perro, his, third goal. He's got a hat trick. McAvoy's got 4. His goal comes at 1:05. It's 10-0 Franklin. So Perro with 3 and McAvoy with 4. Those are 7 of your 10. The other goal scorers, Ben Patterson, Ryan Grasso, and Eddie O'Brien. 1:03 to go here in the second period. Sun-drenched Piscini Stadium. Wind blowing, going down. Franklin Panther losing it momentarily. Now it's turned over as Weber couldn't maintain it. Now the ball is sent forward. This is the difference in play. Wakefield unable to get into any type of offensive rhythm. Franklin so strong defensively. Whereas when the Panthers have it, they work whatever they want to do. Looking for structured play. The whistle shot there. And the goal by Drew Hansen. He whipped one about 2 feet off the ground the whole route. And Hansen gets his first goal of the game. And that makes it 11-0. Score comes with 41.8 seconds to go in the game. I believe if this score holds up for the second half, we'll have running time for as long as Franklin maintains a 10-goal lead. Patterson wins the draw. Patterson on the left wing. Franklin will have 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Up big, a whistle, stops play, a violation. In the game now for Franklin is Seamus Conlon. 25.4 left, first half. Wakefield starts out deep. Fullerton in his own goal with the ball. He's in no hurry to get this thing launched. Just holding it. His team is down by 11. He is just going to run out the clock. And now he sends one upfield, way upfield. And that's going to do it as Fullerton just took his time. 1.8 seconds to go, ball out of bounds, clock stops. Surprised there that Fullerton didn't try to get something started. And there's the horn ending the first period. What a first half. The only possible thing you could point to on the possible negative side, Franklin had, I think, 2 penalties. Wakefield had, I think, 2 also. Franklin scored on one of those for 1 power play goal. And Franklin was good in on the penalty kill. They gave up nothing. They gave up no scores in any fashion here in the first half. We're going to take a break. It's a 10-minute halftime. We'll be back in about 9 minutes to set the stage for the second half. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching exciting Franklin High Boys Lacrosse on Franklin TV. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Piscini Stadium, a beautiful sunny early spring afternoon, late in the day, but early in the spring. Pete Royce with you. We're at halftime of Franklin's boys lacrosse game against Wakefield, and it's all Panthers here in the first half. They lead it 11-0. Franklin exploded with 4 goals in the first period and then added 7 in the second period. Dylan McAvoy has 5 goals in the game. How about that? And let's check that. No, it looks like 4 goals for McAvoy and 3 for Perro. And then other goals by Patterson, Grasso, O'Brien, and Hansen. So a tremendous effort by the Panthers. And here we start the second half. Our producer today is Meredith Robertson. Franklin in the home white with navy trim and gray little side lights, and Wakefield in the visiting red with white. 11:49 to go. Here we start the third period, and I thought there'd be running time, but right now there's a stoppage in the play, and the clock has stopped. We'll see if they're going to run the clock here. I thought with 10 goals they might run it, but no indication. Oh, I know why. They called a penalty on Franklin, so that did stop the clock. That's been the one maybe slight flaw in the Franklin situation. 3 penalties. This one on Alex Weber. It's a very minor for 30 seconds. And Wakefield will have it in their offensive zone, looking for its first goal of the game. With it is Brady Zdanowicz. He gets it upfield. Ball is swatted loose and taken back by Franklin, a sub in the game. No, Drew McCarthy. He started. He's in the game, and he wins the ball for the Panthers. The penalty is up to Weber, and we're at even strength. Ball is blocked, but carrying it through is a Panther, starting out in his own end. And racing upfield with it is Drew McCarthy. McCarthy gets it over to Jack O'Connor. O'Connor still holding. Out deep it comes, and now it's in the possession of Ryan Grasso. Grasso with a goal here today. 11-0, just the start of the third period from Franklin, Mass. Franklin coached by Lou Verrocchi, who started the Franklin program varsity sport in 1999. Franklin working it around. It was Tom Quinn. Back out deep it comes to Ryan Grasso in the corner. Franklin looking for cutters. Back out for Drew Hansen. On the left side, a whistling shot put up there by Quinn, and it's wide. Franklin again first to the ball. They'll retain possession. Almost 2 minutes into the second half. We'll see if it's running time here. It did stop for the penalty. Back is Quinn. Now it's out deep for Ryan Grasso. Grasso takes the return pass. In front for Hansen. Franklin bobbles it, still controlling it. Left-handed shot is blocked, and it's in the turf and controlled by the Warriors. And here they come. This is Zdanowicz and a whistle and a timeout called. Interesting. Have a timeout called with only 9:37 left in the second period. We've just played about 2:23, and a quick timeout called by Andrew Wells, the head coach of Wakefield in his first year. He did not go to Wakefield High School. I think he's told me he went to Wilmington High. He did play college lacrosse at LaSalle in Boston. So he is a veteran of lacrosse competition. Lou Verrocchi, the dean of coaching here in this area. Just so proud of his team and so happy with the strong youth program here in Franklin. The huge commitment the players make and the fact that they play club lacrosse in the off season. And that's why he can graduate 15 seniors and come back and have an 11-0 lead and a 4-0 schedule. 4 wins and no losses in the early going. That's Lou Verrocchi, well-respected coach. He's coached in a number of levels. And he's got the big lead here with 9:37 to go. Franklin will be next on the road on April 22nd at Lexington. That's next Monday night, and that is a 6:30 face-off in Lexington. That'll be a big game for the Panthers. Wakefield will have the ball right around midfield. Matt Keefe will put it in play. He draws a double team, takes 2 or 3 hits, and the ball is knocked loose and picked up by C.J. Perro for Franklin. And Franklin will go into the offensive zone. 11-0, Franklin on top. This is Perro. Perro out on the right side. Franklin coming in. They unleash one. It's wide. Franklin back there in perfect position. And the Panthers will have the offensive play continuing. Patterson gets it out deep. Way out it comes to Ryan Grasso. Grasso in the center of the field for Patterson. Now the Panthers take it behind the goal. Get it back out top for Grasso. Left side for Ben Patterson. Nice pass down low. The shot is wide by Perro. He had a good look in front of Fullerton. He just misfired. Franklin, though, will keep possession. This is Grasso. He unleashes. It's blocked and is picked off in there by Fullerton. Fullerton will take it behind his own goal. Now he'll run up with it. Still holding. Gets a short pass. It's complete to Matt Keefe. And Keith loses it. Franklin one-on-one. The shot and the score. The steal and the score by Franklin. And that was made. We'll check the number for you. I think it might have been Patterson. He's going to come off. It is Patterson with the goal. Ben Patterson opens up the second half scoring. Ben Patterson makes it 12-0. And that score comes with 8:14 to go, so they are not playing running time. The clock is stopped. 12-0, Franklin. No running time yet. Maybe it's the fourth quarter where they'll invoke that. Wakefield gets the ball on the draw, and coming back for it is Gabe Guida. Guida sends one high in the air. It's on the turf and is taken down by the Panthers by Andrew Frollo. Frollo holds it, gets a pass too strong, and that's going to be out of bounds. And a rare miscue by the Panthers, and the ball will go back to the Warriors with 7:47 to go. So no running time, even though Franklin has a 12-0 lead. Fullerton in net with the ball, the freshman. Wakefield loaded with freshmen and sophomores. I think there's one senior on the team, according to Coach Andrew Wells. Franklin with 12 seniors on its team. And they win the ball back. Franklin will start off at their own 30. A long pass by Flynn Baker, who's in the game, and that's going to go clear out of bounds. Baker unleashed one from the left side all the way to the right. His ball goes out of bounds, and Wakefield will have it coming back the other way. 12-0, 7:24 to go, playing here in the third period from Franklin. The Shadows beginning to make their appearance. This was a late start. This was about a 4:40 start. Wakefield a little late in arriving. Pass is complete, and they send one up to Josh Whitman. This is Whitman with it. And his ball is caught by a teammate upfield, racing for it there, and getting it is Seamus Cable. Cable, we saw, he has a nice shot, but the Warriors yet to find the back of the net. Matt Corvey doing a great job in goal for Coach Lou Veracki. This is Zdenowicz coming through, and it's a beautiful save on cue for Matt Corvey. He releases a player. Franklin with some numbers. They're taking it up the left wing. In front, Patterson shoots, and it's blocked, and he gets his own rebound. Also in the game is Frollo. Now a injured player coming off, limping there, is an injured Warrior, and that's J.P. Casey. He'll go out with 6:34 to go. Only one goal here in the almost first half of the third quarter, just 34 seconds shy of that. And Franklin will have the possession after the injury timeout. Panthers work it down to the top now. O'Brien deep in the corner for O'Connor, and behind the net it comes. Franklin out to Drew Hansen. Hansen to the top, back to Drew. Back out to Eddie O'Brien. Coming up on the midway point of the third period, Franklin with one goal this period. No goals for Wakefield in the entire game so far. Remember, Franklin had 2 shutouts in their first 2 games of the season. Panthers for Eddie O'Brien out deep. Now Hansen back to O'Brien in front. The spin around shot and the goal by C.J. Perro. Perro, I believe that's his 4th goal of the game. He makes it 13-0. That goal comes with 5:44 here in the third. So Perro, he had 1 goal in the first period, 2 more in the second period, and 1 here in the third period. So Perro with 3, McAvoy with 4, and Patterson with 2 now. And here's Patterson taking the draw with 5:41 to go in the game. Patterson wins in the third period. Patterson wins the draw. Gets a pass, but it's picked off in there by Wake. And now Frollo bumps a player down, and that's going to be a foul called on Frollo. Andrew Frollo will go out. Another penalty for Franklin. And Frollo, the junior, he'll be on the sideline there. They haven't posted the infraction. I believe it'll be a minor for Frollo. He's in the penalty area. The referee is coming over. And it's going to be 1 minute for Frollo. We mentioned some of the college commits for Franklin. So C.J. Perro, he's got a good game going. He'll be going to Assumption next year. Tyler Olivo will be going to Nichols. Eddie O'Brien will be going to St. Anselm's. Drew Hansen, Quinnipiac. Matt Corvey, UMass Boston. Andrew Lampasona. He'll be playing hockey and lacrosse at Tilton Academy. So those are some of the early college commits for the Franklin High Panthers. It's going to be 2 penalties. One on Frollo and one on Patterson. Double minors, and Wakefield will have 2 players up. We'll see if they can do something with it. They've yet to get a power play goal, but now they have a 2-player advantage. Racing for it out there on the far side was Nick Metzis. Ball is out of bounds. Wakefield will retain it. 45 seconds to go on the 2 doubles. The shot and the score. There's the first penalty. For the first goal, and that's scored by Wakefield. They're on the board on the power play. Reed Festel gets the goal. Reed Festel gets the goal at 5:08 in the third, and it's 13-1. So he gets 1. 5:08 to go. The double minor. And with this double minor, both players will stay in the penalty area. It's still a double player up for Wakefield with 28 more seconds to go. Wakefield ducking under is Matt Keefe. Wakefield looking pretty good here with the two-player advantage, and now Franklin steals it. And player is limping down. Drawing a little turned ankle was Crandall. The shot there is wide, and it's going to be 1 second to go on the penalty to Frollo. Wakefield will still have it. 13-1, 4:29 to go in the third period. And the penalties are up. So Franklin now even strength with the Warriors. But the Warriors with a shot, it is wide. And it's turned back. I'm going to see if Franklin has a new goalkeeper in there. And they do. Corvey is out, and in is Sam Friedman, the junior. It's a good offensive series for the Warriors, however. And this is Keefe, and he's going to leash one, and that's wide. But this time, the Warriors there to retrieve it. So a new goalkeeper, junior Sam Friedman in net. Corvey went the first half plus, but now it's Friedman. 3:53 to go. The ball on the turf and is picked off in the air by Franklin. Anthony Lampasona. And he's going to get the ball. Franklin quickly upfield in the attacking zone. 3:37 to go. Franklin 13. Wakefield Warriors 1. Franklin getting some subs in. The shot there is misfired by Lampasona. And Franklin will have it in the offensive end. 3:25 to go. We're definitely not playing running time, that's for sure. Tommy Quinn will control it and set up the offense. Franklin looking to come back after giving up a goal. This is Quinn's shot. It's saved by Fullerton on a beauty. Fullerton with his best save of the game. 3 minutes to go in the third period. Fullerton will launch one way upfield, but right into the cage of Franklin's Jordan Gaspar. Gaspar in the game. Ball on the turf, battled for it there. Keelty tried to win it, but no, it goes free to Seamus Cable. The Warriors looking a little better here in this last 5 minutes of play. 2:34 left in the third. 13-1 Franklin. Franklin putting a lot of pressure on. Goes back over to Cable. Way out it comes now to Brody Walsh. Walsh to Matt Keefe. Keefe stumbling his way. He goes down, still controls the ball beautifully. Now a foul call. This is going to be on Franklin again. It's going to be another foul. One, I believe, is going to be on Jack Nutter, and the other one may be on Patterson. It's going to be in another situation where I believe, unless it's the same player with two fouls, we'll see how they rule this. But one player going out is Jack Nutter, the senior defenseman. He'll go down. So Franklin with some penalties in this game, and Nutter will be out there for 1 minute. Referee threw 2 flags. It's interesting. I don't know why he threw 2, but it's 1 penalty on Nutter for 1 minute, and Wakefield will go back on the power play. 2:05 left here in the third period. 13-1. No, there is going to be a double minor, so it is 2 on Nutter. He'll serve 2 consecutively. After the first one is gone, he'll have another 30-second penalty. So 1 for a minute and 1 for 30. The ball is fired wide and retrieved by Wakefield. They have a 2-player advantage for another 36 seconds, then 1 for another minute and a half. This is Cable. He can't draw it. Back to Seamus Cable. He's picked up in there by Flynn Baker. Cable gets it up into the slot. Skip pass now to the front. Charging through. Ball on the turf. The player lost his stick, and Franklin comes out with it. 10 seconds to go on the first penalty to Nutter. Franklin will kill off some penalty time here. They'll take it back out. Coming around, still controlling it in front, some daylight. The shot there is saved by Fullerton on a good look for Franklin. Now the final minute penalty is on the board for Nutter. The first one is gone. He's got another one. So it was a double penalty on Nutter. That's what we thought first. We saw the two flags. So the first penalty is up. Ball is loose by Tyler Crandall, the junior for Franklin. He controls it. Gets a left-handed pass up. 29 seconds left on the Nutter penalty. About the same amount of time on the period. Franklin will try to eat it. Period should come to a close first before the penalty comes up by about 3 seconds. Franklin killing off time here. They're going to take it way out. Circling around is Jordan Gaspar. 6 seconds to go. And the period ends with 3 seconds on the penalty to Jack Nutter. Only 3 goals in that period. 2 by Franklin and 1 by Wakefield. So after 3, it's Franklin 13 and Wakefield 1. You see spurts of spirited play by Wakefield. Of course, they fell behind 11-0 at halftime. But here in this period, they only give up 2, and they scored 1 themselves on the double power play, 2-player advantage for Wakefield. So in this period, Ben Patterson made it 12-0. He scored at 8:14. And then C.J. Perro, some 3 minutes or so, 2.5 minutes later, he made it 13-0. But then Franklin gave up the the power play goal to Reed Festel. And that's 13-1 here in the fourth period. 3 seconds left on the penalty to Jack Nutter. He had 2 infractions called on him. Franklin, a very physical style of play in this game. And we have 12 minutes left. We've seen a few substitutes for Coach Lou Veracki. We'll see if he keeps that going here. Pete Royce with you, Meredith Robertson spinning the dials for your viewing pleasure as Franklin looking to get to 5-0 on the season. Wakefield coming in with a good record, 3-1, but they've met their match here today, and Coach Andrew Wells told us before the game this is probably the toughest game that Wakefield will play all season long, and it's proved just that. But a little bit of a spark in the third period. It's a 2-1 third period advantage for Franklin after Franklin led it at halftime 11-0. Franklin again will next be playing in boys hockey, field hockey, lacrosse on next Monday, the 22nd of April at Lexington High, 6:30 game. 3 seconds left on the penalty, 12 minutes left on the big Piscini Stadium scoreboard. Franklin will have it as we start the fourth and final period. And the penalty is up. Both teams now at even strength. Nutter back on the playing turf. And he'll drop it in the center of the field for Eddie O'Brien. Now in the game for Franklin is Zach Langevin to Perro. He's had a fine game for the Panthers. Out for O'Brien. Eddie against that zone defense. Langevin. Nice pass in front, spinning through. The shot by McAvoy. And did he get it through? McAvoy, he scores. McAvoy with his 5th goal of the game. Dylan McAvoy. Did not take him long in the fourth period to make it 14-1 Franklin. That score comes at 11:28. So definitely no running time in this one. Going to play this one out. 14-1, Franklin on top. Dylan McAvoy, tremendous game. He scored 3 of the 4 goals for Franklin. Had another goal in the second period. This is his 5th goal of the game for Dylan McAvoy. Patterson with the draw, and it's going to be loose and taken back by Wakefield. And they'll charge through. Coming up with a nice run here. Wakefield, though, can't control it. And let's see, Franklin first to the ball. They'll win it almost 1 minute into the fourth and final period. Franklin 14, Wakefield won a non-conference game. Franklin in conference play is 3-0. Victories over 4-0. Attleboro, Stoughton, Canton, and Sharon. Looking for victory number 5 on the season. That would be Coach Louver Rockies' 337th career victory. How about that? Franklin controlling it here. This is Quinn Keelty, the sophomore. Down low, behind the back shot by McAvoy, and he scores it. McAvoy goes behind the back to score it. And it's 15-1. Dylan McAvoy, his 6th goal of the game. Score comes at 10-11. McAvoy with 6 goals in one game. And now they're going to run the clock. So with the 14-goal game lead, now they finally run the clock. I'm not sure if 14 is the special number. I always thought it was 10, but the clock is now running. 9:50 to go. We'll see what happens if Wakefield scores and goes under a 14-point lead to 13, and will they stop the clock at that point on the dead balls? Here's Patterson back for Zach Langevin. Behind it goes Papero back to Zach. Langevin out top for McAvoy. 6 goals today for Zach McAvoy. McAvoy with the game of his life here. He's a senior. Down and timeout called. And I'm not sure what the infraction was. The two officials are going to get together and talk about it. There's going to be a face-off. There's going to be a Franklin goal. I did not see who scored it. Franklin with the goal, 16-1. That score comes with 8:50. Clock is running now. 15-goal lead for the Panthers. 16-1. With it out deep is Matt Keefe. Now, rather, it's Kyle Clare. Clare out near the midfield line, drops it over to Zdanowicz, who dropped it. Ball is going to be retained, and now a delayed call coming against the Panthers. One thing about Franklin, they've had a number of penalties here today. A bit of a blemish on an otherwise near offensive onslaught, but the penalties have hurt a bit, at least in terms of total play that you would like to have all facets of your game clicking. But Franklin will have a player advantage here, as we'll see who goes out for the Panthers. I believe it's going to be Patterson. We'll wait till it gets posted on the scoreboard. Clock is running in spite of the penalty. It is running time. Wakefield with the ball, down big, and they take it. It is Patterson for 1 minute for a minor. Power play goal. Ball is loose on the turf, and Franklin will come out with it. They get a nice pass in the open field. This is Frollo. Now let's check it. This is Drew McCarthy. McCarthy raises that stick. Will go behind the net by himself. 38 seconds to go on the penalty. He goes down, and that's going to be a foul on Wakefield. So Franklin will have one player in the box for 30 seconds. Now that clock is moving, and a Wakefield Warrior will go out for 1 minute. And I believe going out will be Brady Zdanowicz. We're running time, and even the penalties are, of course, running as well. So Patterson, only 10 seconds left on his penalty. And we'll see the posting of the penalty for Wakefield. The Patterson penalty is up. Franklin will have the player advantage here with 6.5 to go. And the penalty for the Warriors is Seamus Cable, a very minor penalty. Shouldn't say very minor, a minor for 1 minute. Franklin with the player up. They had one power play goal. That shot is wide. Franklin will chase it down with 6:08 to go. 39 seconds left on the Cable penalty. Franklin takes it behind the net. Eddie O'Brien, Langevin unleashes a bullet, and he scores. Zach Langevin fires it through on the power play, so that'll bring the teams to even strength, 17-1 on Langevin's goal. That for Zach, that's his first goal of the game. So he joins the scoring parade for the Panthers, and they make it 17-1. Penalty is up for Cable on the goal by Langevin. And we have 5:20 to go. Clock moving here in the fourth period. Shadows covering about half the field, mostly on the right side as you look on the beautiful turf of Piscini Stadium. Franklin wins the draw. They get it to O'Connor, and O'Connor is going to back it out with 5 minutes to go, straight up in the game. With it now is Quinn Keelty. Back for O'Connor, his pass is high. In the game now is Tyler Olivo. He'll be going to Nichols next year, playing for the Bison. Back out for O'Connor. This is Jack O'Connor. Back to O'Connor. Back out deep for Quinn Keelty. 4:27 to go in the game. Franklin trying to work their patterned plays. Take it behind the goal. There's the blast. It's wide. It was contact on the blast. Franklin first to the ball. That blast was taken by Keelty, I believe. And Franklin still has it. Yes, that was Keelty with the last shot. And he has the ball back with under 4 minutes to go in the game. There's another blast that's wide. Franklin again first to it. Chasing it down there for the Panthers will be Jordan Gaspar. Jordan flicks it back out deep. On the right side, it comes to O'Connor. Back out for Keelty. Far left side, back to Keelty. And coming around with it is Tom Quinn. 3:26 to go. O'Connor with the ball for the Panthers. Quinn, O'Connor. Far corner for Keelty. Behind the goal now. 3:10 left. Ball is misfired, intended there for Quinn, and he'll come back and take it. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the game. Franklin 17, Wakefield 1. The shot there by Franklin, the save by Fullerton. He's had a few nice saves. I mean, 17 have gotten by, but he's been peppered all game long, and he gets a long pass upfield, but it's into a Panther. And here comes Franklin with 2:36 to go. Pass on the far side. Charging through for Franklin there was Jack Frijon. The shot here and a big foul called. And I think Franklin drew the penalty here. The goal was scored by Franklin. Let's see who they're going to give it to. I think it was Frollo. No, I believe that goal was scored by Jake Frijon. Frijon, he's a sophomore. He made it 18-1 unofficially. Jake Frijon, 18-1 with under 2 minutes to go. Goal came at about 2:05. They're sorting out whether there's going to be a penalty called or not. The flag went up. We're in the final 2 minutes of the game. Franklin in control. Their most high output of the season was 20 goals against Stoughton, 20-0. They had 15 against Attleboro and 12 against Canton. Only 5 last game against Sharon. But here they've rebounded with an 18 spot against the Warriors. Discussion here, and they're going to call the game. It looked like they called the game. I'm not sure why. 114 was up there. A long conference between the two officials, and they've called the game. and that's going to be it. Franklin's going to win it 18-1. Big games for C.J. Perro and Dylan McAvoy. McAvoy with 6 goals. Perro with, I believe, 5 or at least 4. Let's check that for Perro. 4 goals for Perro and some good assistance by other players. Franklin wins it. They get their 5th straight win to open up the season, and this is a non-conference game, and Wakefield drops to 3-2. I'd like to thank you fans for tuning in to this Franklin boys lacrosse game from beautiful Piscini Stadium. I'd like to thank our producer, our director, our technologist here today, Meredith Robertson, among the first to arrive and the last to leave. This is Pete Roy saying so long from Piscini Stadium on the Franklin High campus. The final score for the final time today, Franklin 18, Wakefield 1. Till next time, so long, neighbors.